Yeah, good morning. Obviously, important week coming up for us. Good to get a win on Saturday versus Louisiana Tech. Back and forth game, but probably good for us to get some positive momentum after a little bit of a rough stretch. Obviously, going on the road this week, playing two teams that we were able to beat at home that are right above us in the standings. So, very consequential week. It's very difficult to win road games in this league. At the same time, hopefully we're building in the right direction, and we're going to do everything we can to prepare and have two successful road games at UTEP and at New Mexico State. I would say that just before we get to those questions about it, Baba Carfe is not going to play the rest of this year. Still not healthy, but getting there. But he's going to apply for a medical red shirt. Obviously played 10 games, so still has the ability to do that. I would say Julius Thedford is doubtful to play the rest of the year. Dislocated kneecap. Again, not running, not sprinting. It's just going to be very hard, I think, in 2 weeks to get to that point. But I'll use the word doubtful rather than out. Christian Lander with the back injury practiced yesterday and is expected to play on Thursday at UTEP. Enoch Kalambe will not travel with us this week. He is still part of the team. We are working on a plan to get him just kind of back in the right, physical and mental spot that he needs to be the best player that he can be. We'll reevaluate, and hopefully he's able to return after the trip. So I can answer more questions on those, but figured I would just give a quick rundown because I assume we're all curious.
I guess to start, UTEP that last time we played them when they came in here, that game was close down the stretch. I'm assuming they want to get a payback from that close win, or that close loss in their case. For you guys, how are you going to replicate that energy and intensity on the road this time?
Yeah, they're all the teams in our league are so evenly tested, and a lot of it's where you're at. I mean, I would think that they'll be hungry to get that win back. I know they've dropped 3 in a row. Home game to Liberty, and then they lost at Jacksonville State and at Kennesaw. Two places that we struggled to get wins as well. So I don't necessarily think they're playing poorly, but maybe they're going through that stretch right now where things have gone against them a little bit. Obviously, they got off to a great start, and now they've dropped a couple. So I would think they'll respect who we are and what we can do after coming in here and losing a close game. Obviously, it had taken us a while to get, like Saturday versus La Tech, probably the first. Only the second game we won since then, but the first close game that we were able to pull out. We had a couple close ones where we had dropped in between the two games. So good to get back on that winning track. Sometimes you just need a little bit of momentum. So they're a good team. Corey Camper didn't play the first game. He's been back healthy. He's obviously a very important part of what they do, and they're a team we saw 3 times last year. They have a lot of the same players, so I think both teams are very, very familiar with each other, and going down to El Paso is a hard place to get a win. But I think we know that if we continue to build and our togetherness and keep our defense where it was at on Saturday, and we continue to respond to adversity and fight through the ups and downs of a game, hopefully we've proven to ourselves that we're able to go in there and get a win.
They got 4 of the top 10 guys in the field, 2 of the top 2.
Yep.
I think you guys had 18 turnovers against them the first time.
Yep.
I feel like you did okay. Obviously, you come out with a win, so you can't feel too bad about anything. But I feel like that was acceptable, and can you do that again?
Yeah. They pressure out so far. I mean, the whole point, I think they're first in the country in steals or something like that. So like their defensive game plan is to try to attack the basketball. Compared to football, if you're trying to get fumbles and interceptions, you get turnovers. At the same time, you open yourself up to the rim a little bit, to the end zone. So that's kind of that's what I always tell our guys that their defense is kind of like. So if we're able to make the right play and avoid the turnover, they put 2 guys on the ball, and you're able to rotate and make unselfish plays and pass out of it. We were able to score pretty effectively when we didn't turn the ball over. So if on all the possessions except those 18 turnovers, I think we had a very, very high efficiency rate. So no doubt, you want to stay aggressive, you want to stay confident, you don't want to let that pressure bother you. As the game goes on, you get more comfortable, and maybe they get tired a little bit. I think in the second half we did a better job at taking care of the ball and finishing at the rim and catch and shoot threes. So, but no doubt, I think when you play UTEP, their focus is always on forcing turnovers. So you certainly need to understand where the pressure is coming from, understand the situations that we have struggled in, and to figure out how to take care of that basketball to keep it moving and hopefully get a good shot.
You talk about the roster, some of the guys on the roster who are doubtful for the season and coming back. But a guy who had a career night on Saturday, Braxton Bayless, if you can kind of just talk about how he's developed throughout the year. He's been a guy you've been lean on despite these injuries and his production for ramping up here lately?
Yeah, Braxton's obviously, I've known Braxton a long time and coached him 2 years prior to coming here. Braxton, and every year I've been around him and seen him as he gets comfortable, his play improves. I think every year of his career, he gets better month by month. He's a very unselfish player. He's a winning-oriented guy. Won a state championship in high school. We won at Indian Hills. He had some huge games at Niagara and helped them be successful. That's the third buzzer beater of his college career. He just has a knack in big-time moments to making plays and to getting things done, and it's because his focus is on winning. So, early in the season when you're playing 8, 9, 10, 11 guys and you're rotating a bunch of dudes, he doesn't have that. He's not that guy that's just going to try to go dominate. He wants to fit in, he wants to win, he wants to be part of something. But no doubt, as our rotation shrunk a little bit, and as he knows he's playing 25, 30 plus minutes a night, it seems like he's gotten very comfortable. And now he's 11 for 19 from the floor, 3 for 4 from three, shooting almost 50% from three. He showed a little bit from the line this year, but man, he's been an 80% free throw shooter in his past, and he stepped up there with confidence, not overthinking, made the plays. Obviously, we ran the last few plays of the game for him, and he really came through. So just as he's gotten comfortable, as he figured out how this team plays together and how he can be an important player on both ends, his performance, his production has certainly ramped up a little bit. And we definitely need him to be, a guy that puts the ball in the basket. We have some guys that are great players that don't score a ton. So the guys that do score a lot, we need to be very confident and put the ball in the bucket. And it's good to see Braxton doing that.
I wonder what practice has been like during this stretch with the numbers you had. Have you had to alter things just to get by? I'm also kind of wondering who's helping out. Is Cade? I assume he's still healthy. He's been helping out. How's that been working for you?
Yeah, kind of. I'd say like yesterday. So 3 days before a game or something like that. When we play live, we do mostly 4-on-4. But and that's really just to keep rotations. And then as we get closer to the game, we'll do some 5-on-5 stuff guarding UTEP. And you mentioned Cade Stinnett. Cade's always their team's leading scorer. So Cade is Lamar Wilkerson. Cade is he'll be Ahmad Bynum or Devin Barnes today. Cade will be Christian Cook. Cade is Amari Abram. So he always simulates the best player, the best shooter. Cade Stinnett's a very good basketball player. And he's a guy that's obviously redshirting this year, but he's he's a walk-on and a local kid. Like Cade's going to be able to help us in our future here. So yeah, he's a big part of practice. Obviously Fluff and JD, and JD's playing a big role in games. But Fluff, JD, Jack Elam, and then we rotate the two bigs. So and Jack will rotate with Jalen or Braxton. So we'll always kind of have a team of 5. 2 days before, simulate what the other team is, and we'll rotate 6 or 7 that'll be guarding, and we'll you don't do a ton because I guess, to be very transparent, the worst thing that could happen in practice is somebody gets injured. So I'd be lying if I tell you that we're playing enough live games where but we demand that they go very, very hard. So we'd rather play 10 to 20 really intense live possessions when you kind of are in that half speed or 3/4 speed. That's when people do get injured, but you do it for a long time. So we probably go a little shorter, but it's intense. But there's a very direct focus. Sometimes on both offense and defense, you practice offense 5-on-0, or you practice defense just simulating what you'll do without any kind of contact to try to not put guys in situations where an injury is possible. I don't always tell them that's why we're doing it, but that is why sometimes there's not contact, just because, Sean Newman Jr. landed on Braxton's foot at the end of that game, and that's how you get an ankle injury. So I guess that's the worst thing that could happen in practice. So we're trying to figure out how to keep getting better and better and prepare, and while keeping our intensity and keeping our focus and keeping our drive, but also avoiding, too much physical strain, because these guys do have to play 35 minutes on Thursday and probably 35 minutes on Saturday. So we do need fresh bodies.
Just one more quick thing, too.
Yep.
With Stinnett, was there ever any thought of pulling that red shirt just to add to your roster this year?
Not in my mind. I've had that suggestion from a couple of staff members, because there's probably ways that it maybe does make sense. But Cade and I had a plan when he came here, and hopefully, as you see, I mean, Jalen Dorsey is more than capable of playing the role that we need him to play right now. We'll have Christian back on Thursday. So Kate and I had a game plan for a 3-year plan, and I gave him my word on a couple things, and I bet if I asked him, he would be willing to pull that red shirt. At the same time, I think he's an important part of our future, and I never have interest in sacrificing, what that plan was to try to play 5 to 7 minutes here and there. And I think JD's done a great job. So very pleased with where we're at, but I do believe in what Cade can help us in the future for sure.
With this being the last road trip of the season, of course, Huntsville is a road trip that's a neutral site, but it's still away from home, out of the comfort zone, Diddle Arena. What are you looking to get out of these last couple of games that are away before you take Huntsville on?
Trying to get a couple wins, brother. That's the biggest thing we're trying to get out of it. And if whether we are or not able to get both of those, I want to feel when we walk in. We talk about when we walk in the locker room afterwards. We want to feel like we left it out there. I'll use the game at Jacksonville State as an example. Like we dropped that one, but man, we felt like it wasn't an effort, or we didn't beat ourselves that one. The really good team beat us. So at first, Sam probably last Thursday. They're a very good team, but I don't know that they beat the best version of us, So if La Tech had beat us on Saturday, they would have beat a very good team and beaten us. So we're just trying to make sure that we control, and we continue to improve and get better. Obviously, it is a time of year where winning does matter. I mean, winning always matters, but I mean, we have a focus, and these guys are going to El Paso to take that floor and to come out on the right side of that one. So it's just one day at a time. I know in a league where one team gets a bid, it's easy to say Huntsville's all that matters, but every day matters, man. Like every day builds up to that. It culminates in that, but every day matters. You got to keep improving, and these guys have had a great experience here at WKU, and obviously a lot of them are nearing the end. So we want to make sure that conference tournament starts in 2 weeks. We don't got any days to waste here. So whether that's those games or every day that we have left together, we want to make sure that we improve and we get better. And we've had 4 pretty good ones in a row since that Sam game, and hopefully we can stretch together another 18 or 20.
How important would it be for you guys to finish in the top 6, not play on Tuesday, not have that extra game? Probably looking at Thursday, so you have a little bit of extra time. But with the situation you guys are in, health-wise, how big would that be to get up into that top 6?
It certainly would make the path simpler, I think. I think I'd much rather be in the top 6 than in the bottom 4. It is what it is. You can, we'll take the court and we'll do what we can do. And hey, if we win all 4 games, we will be. So, it's maybe if we win 3, I don't know. I don't look at all the math. But I think you definitely want to try to avoid playing in the first round if you can. But we can't magically control that. We can play at UTEP on Thursday night, and we can play at New Mexico State on Saturday night, and obviously if we're able to be successful in those games, then hey, we've earned it. We deserve to hopefully avoid that round. But if we play well or poorly and we're not able to do it, then you got to play where you got to take whatever path that you earn, for better or worse. So obviously we want to do as good as we can. We want to try to position yourself as good as you can, but you got to accept the results, and we'll see what we can do to try to avoid that Tuesday. Yeah, just he had an X-ray on Monday. No broken bones. His back's bothering him. Landed in the Middle Tennessee game towards the end, or on a layup, got hit the floor or something. Kind of had a little nerve tingling feeling going down his leg. So they did an MRI on Wednesday, and there's just inflammation in one of the discs of 5th vertebrae, maybe, something like that. The MRI showed an inflammation that causing just a nerve to be bothered. So I think it's a painful thing. He had, I can't tell you exact treatment, but they do treatment on these things, and it's been getting better and better. He practiced last Wednesday, and then by Thursday he didn't feel as good. Obviously tried to play, and then got more treatment. Saw a specialist on Friday, and we thought that it would progress. And he said he felt way better yesterday. Looked good in practice. Unless I have not seen him today, but unless there's some kind of setback that's unforeseen, he's a full go in practice today, tomorrow, and we'll be playing on Thursday night. But just inflammation of some disc in his back. All right, thank you guys.